let's talk about one of the biggest, most expensive mistakes that businesses make all the time. And it's this: confusing the price of something with its actual cost. Now, that might sound super simple, right? But believe me, getting this one distinction right, it can change absolutely everything.
Okay, so picture this. You're the one in charge. You need to pick a supplier and you've got two offers on your desk. Offer A is 100 bucks, offer B is 95. The pressure's on. What's your first instinct? Which one do you go for? I mean, looking at it like this, it seems like a total no-brainer, doesn't it? Offer B is clearly cheaper. And in a lot of companies, picking B is exactly what you do. It's an easy win, right? Something you can report back as a saving. But, and this is a big but, that's the trap. So why is it a trap? Well, to figure that out, we have to look at the math that's hiding in plain sight. This is something the legendary W. Edwards Deming talked about all the time. He said that the price tag, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real story, the important part, is everything happening below the surface.
And here is the crazy part, the paradox that Deming pointed out. That little 5% saving you thought you were getting, it can actually hide a 50% increase in the total cost to your company. I know, it sounds nuts, right? How is that even possible? Let's stick into the numbers and see.
Okay, so let's reset. Here's that simple view again. Offer A at 100, and the so-called cheaper offer B at 95. This is what goes on the spreadsheet as a win. But now we're going to start adding in all those hidden costs to offer B.
First up, what about when things go wrong? The cheaper supplier, well, they often have more issues, more defects, and every single error means rework, it means returns, it means your team is on the phone dealing with problems. So let's be conservative and add, say, 20 points of cost for all that. And then what about delays? The lower priced option might not be as reliable. They might not have the systems to deliver on time, every time. And what does that cause? It causes your production line to stop. It causes you to miss deadlines with your customers. That's a huge disruption. Let's tack on another 15 for that headache. And finally, you can't forget about just the pure hassle factor. A less reliable supplier just eats up your team's time. We're talking more phone calls, more emails, more meetings, just to sort out problems. It's this constant administrative friction. And yeah, it all adds up. Let's add another 8 for that. Okay, so you add all of that up, and what do you get? Suddenly that cheaper $95 offer, its real cost is $138. Meanwhile, the $100 offer from the good supplier, it's still just $100. This is what Deming was talking about. The lowest price tag almost never means the lowest total cost. So if constantly chasing the lowest price is just a race to the bottom, what's the right way to play? Deming had a really powerful, simple answer: partnership. And that means you have to completely change the way you think about and work with your suppliers. I mean, he put it so bluntly for a reason. He argued that this one single habit, awarding business based on price alone, was responsible for a huge amount of waste. If you really want to improve quality and actually lower your costs, you have to kill this habit of deciding based on one fatally flawed number. And really, it comes down to two completely different ways of thinking. On the one hand, you've got the auction model. This is where you have tons of suppliers, you treat them like enemies, and it's all about fighting for the lowest price. But on the other side, you have the partnership model. Here, you work with just a few trusted suppliers for the long haul. It's collaborative, and the focus is on quality and making each other better. And when you make this shift to partnership, two amazing things happen. First, the economic one. Your real costs go way down because you're getting rid of all that waste from mistakes and delays. But the second one is strategic, and honestly, it might be even more important. A real partner doesn't just sell you stuff. They actively help you improve your business because they know that when you win, they win. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking right now. This math is so simple. Why on earth does every company keep making this same mistake? And that is an excellent question. The answer, weirdly enough, is that the trap is actually set by the company itself. Yeah, the numbers are crystal clear. But here's the thing, businesses don't always run on logic. They run on how people are measured and rewarded, incentives, bonuses, performance reviews. And that is where this whole thing goes completely off the rails. Just look at this. A typical way to measure someone in purchasing is by purchase savings. Basically, did they pay less this year than last year? Well, that system forces them to pick offer B, even if they have a bad feeling it's going to cause a ton of problems later. A much, much smarter way to measure them would be on their total economic contribution, something that actually looks at the real cost.
So, where do you even start to fix this? Look, you can't change the whole company overnight, but you can take one really powerful first step, maybe even this week. And that's to simply show people the real costs. The key is using your own data to make the case. I want you to try this. It's a super simple exercise. Step 1, list out your top 3 suppliers and what you pay them. Step 2, now put on your detective hat. Add some columns for all those hidden costs we've been talking about, the errors, the delays, the time your team is wasting. And then step 3, just do the simple math. Calculate the real total cost for each one.
I'll bet the results are going to surprise you, maybe even shock you. And it all boils down to one critical question you need to be asking. After you've done the real math, who is actually your lowest cost supplier? The answer to that question, well, it might just change everything.